Hey everyone, welcome back to the podcast. Today we're talking about one of the most enjoyable ways to improve your English.
I have a feeling this is about entertainment. Movies, shows, music, that kind of thing.
Exactly that. Today we're talking about how to actually learn English through movies, TV shows, and music in a way that really works.
I love this topic because so many learners already watch English shows, but they don't always know how to turn that into real, effective practice.
That's such a good place to start. A lot of people watch English content, but they're not learning as much as they could be. Why do you think that happens?
I think it's because they're watching purely for entertainment, without any specific strategy or focus on the language itself.
So it's not about what you watch, it's about how you watch it.
Exactly right. With a few small changes, the exact same shows and movies can become powerful learning tools.
Let's start with the basics. Why is watching movies and shows actually good for learning English in the first place?
There are a lot of reasons. First, you hear natural, real pronunciation and rhythm instead of slow, textbook style English.
Right, this connects to something we talked about in a previous episode about understanding native speakers.
Exactly. Movies and shows expose you to natural speed, natural pronunciation, and even natural mistakes, just like real conversations.
What's another benefit of using movies and shows specifically?
Context. You see facial expressions, body language, and situations all together, which helps you understand meaning, even without translating every word.
So, visual context supports your understanding in a way that audio alone often can't.
Exactly right. This combination makes learning feel much more natural and much less like traditional studying.
Let's talk about choosing the right content now, because I imagine not every show is equally helpful.
True. For beginners specifically, I'd recommend shows with clear pronunciation, simple vocabulary, and slower dialogue.
Can you give some general examples of what kind of shows might work well?
Sure, things like children's shows, sitcoms with everyday situations, or shows specifically designed for language learners.
What about more advanced learners? Should they choose different types of content?
Definitely, advanced learners can handle faster dialogue, more complex vocabulary, and content with less obvious context clues.
So, content should generally match your current level, not just your personal interests alone.
Right, although interest still matters a lot too. Enjoying the content keeps you motivated to continue watching consistently.
That's such an important balance, matching both level and genuine interest.
Exactly. If you're bored, you won't watch consistently, no matter how perfectly matched the difficulty level is.
Let's talk about subtitles now, since this is something a lot of learners have questions about.
This is such a common question. My advice is start with subtitles in English, not in your first language.
Why English subtitles specifically, instead of your first language?
Because reading English subtitles reinforces the connection between the sounds you're hearing and the actual English words themselves.
Whereas subtitles in your first language create a translation habit, similar to what we discussed in a previous episode.
Exactly right. First language subtitles often become a shortcut, where you read instead of actually listening carefully.
What would you recommend for someone who finds English subtitles too difficult right now?
That's completely fine. Start with content that's simple enough that English subtitles feel manageable, even if it takes some searching to find the right level.
And eventually moving toward watching without subtitles at all?
Exactly. Over time, gradually reduce subtitle usage as your listening skills naturally improve.
Let's talk about a specific technique now, watching scenes multiple times.
Yes, this is such a powerful technique. Watch a short scene once for general understanding, then watch it again, focusing on specific words or phrases.
So repetition plays a big role here too, just like with regular listening practice.
Exactly right. Repeated viewing helps you catch details you missed the first time and reinforces vocabulary through natural repetition.
Let's talk about pausing now. Should learners pause frequently while watching to check unfamiliar words?
I'd say pause occasionally, but not constantly. Too much pausing interrupts the natural flow and can make watching feel more like studying than enjoying content.
So there's a balance between learning and simply enjoying the show naturally.
Exactly right. I usually recommend watching once, mostly without pausing, then going back later to review specific parts more closely.
Let's talk about taking notes while watching. Is that something you'd recommend?
Definitely, especially for phrases or expressions that feel useful or interesting. Keep a small notebook nearby and jot down anything worth remembering.
So you're building a personal collection of real, natural phrases taken directly from authentic content.
Exactly right. These notes become incredibly valuable over time since they're phrases you've actually seen used naturally in context.
Let's move to music now, since that's another huge part of today's topic.
Sure, music is such a fun, engaging way to practice English, especially for building vocabulary and improving pronunciation.
Why do you think music works so well specifically for language learning?
Rhythm and repetition. Songs naturally repeat words and phrases multiple times, which helps them stick in your memory more easily.
That makes sense. Repetition is such a powerful tool for memory in general.
Exactly. Plus, music connects to emotions, which also helps strengthen memory and makes learning feel enjoyable rather than like a task.
How would you recommend someone actually use music for learning, practically speaking?
Start by listening to a song a few times, just enjoying it naturally. Then, look at the lyrics and try to understand the meaning more closely.
Should learners try singing along too, or is that not necessary?
Singing along is actually really helpful for pronunciation and rhythm, even if you don't understand every single word perfectly.
So it's a fun way to practice pronunciation without the pressure of a real conversation.
Exactly right. There's something relaxing about singing that naturally reduces anxiety compared to speaking directly.
Let's talk about genre now. Does the type of music matter for learning purposes?
It can help to start with genres that have clear, simple lyrics and clear pronunciation rather than very fast or complicated lyrics.
So again, matching difficulty level, similar to choosing movies and shows.
Exactly right. As your listening skills improve, you can gradually explore more complex music with faster, more advanced lyrics.
Let's talk about a common mistake now. What do learners often do wrong when trying to learn through movies, shows, or music?
One common mistake is choosing content that's far too difficult, which leads to frustration and eventually giving up completely.
So starting too advanced too quickly can actually work against progress.
Exactly right. It's much better to start easier than expected and gradually increase difficulty rather than starting too challenging from day one.
What's another common mistake you see in this specific area?
Watching or listening passively without any real focus or intention behind it, treating it purely as background noise.
So there's a difference between passive exposure and active, focused learning.
Exactly right. There's something relaxing about singing that naturally reduces anxiety compared to speaking directly.
Let's talk about genre now. Does the type of music matter for learning purposes?
It can help to start with genres that have clear, simple lyrics and clear pronunciation rather than very fast or complicated lyrics.
So again, matching difficulty level, similar to choosing movies and shows.
Exactly right. As your listening skills improve, you can gradually explore more complex music with faster, more advanced lyrics.
Let's talk about a common mistake now. What do learners often do wrong when trying to learn through movies, shows, or music?
One common mistake is choosing content that's far too difficult, which leads to frustration and eventually giving up completely.
So starting too advanced too quickly can actually work against progress.
Exactly right. It's much better to start easier than expected and gradually increase difficulty rather than starting too challenging from day one.
What's another common mistake you see in this specific area?
Watching or listening passively without any real focus or intention behind it, treating it purely as background noise.
So there's a difference between passive exposure and active, focused learning.
Exactly. Background exposure has some small benefits, but focused, intentional practice creates much faster, more noticeable improvement.
Let's talk about balancing entertainment and actual learning now, since I think this is important too.
This is such an important balance. If every single viewing session feels like intense studying, learners often burn out quickly and lose motivation.
So it's healthy to sometimes just watch for pure entertainment without focusing heavily on learning.
Exactly right. I'd recommend mixing both approaches, some sessions purely for enjoyment and other sessions specifically focused on active learning.
That sounds like a really sustainable long term approach.
It really is. Learning should feel enjoyable overall, not exhausting or overly demanding every single time.
Let's talk about a specific technique now, shadowing scenes from movies or shows.
Sure, we've mentioned shadowing before, but it works especially well with movies and shows specifically.
How does that actually work, practically speaking?
Choose a short scene, listen carefully, then try repeating the lines, copying the actor's pronunciation, rhythm, and even emotion as closely as possible.
So you're combining listening, speaking, and pronunciation practice all together in one single exercise.
Exactly right. This technique is incredibly effective for improving natural rhythm and pronunciation specifically.
Let's talk about tracking progress now, since I imagine it's harder to measure improvement compared to traditional studying methods.
This is a great point. One helpful method is rewatching a show or movie you watched months earlier and noticing how much easier it feels to understand now.
So using your own past experience as a way to measure real progress over time.
Exactly right. This comparison often reveals significant, measurable improvement that might not be obvious day by day.
That's such an encouraging, practical way to track progress naturally.
It really is, and it feels much more motivating than tracking through traditional tests or grades alone.
Let's talk about combining content types now. Should learners stick to just one type, like only movies or only music?
Not at all, actually. Combining different types of content exposes you to a wider variety of vocabulary, accents, and speaking styles.
So variety actually strengthens overall listening and comprehension skills.
Exactly right. Movies, shows, music, podcasts, they all offer slightly different benefits, and combining them creates a much more well-rounded learning experience.
Let's talk about consistency here too, since I know this theme comes up in almost every episode we record.
It really does, because consistency remains the most important factor, even with enjoyable methods like movies and music.
So even fun, entertaining methods still require regular, consistent practice to create real results.
Exactly right. Watching occasionally, without any regular pattern, won't create the same lasting improvement as consistent, regular exposure.
Let's talk about a final practical tip now before wrapping up today's episode.
Sure, I'd say don't feel pressure to understand everything perfectly, especially in the beginning stages.
So partial understanding is still genuinely valuable and worth celebrating.
Exactly right. Even understanding the general story or the overall feeling of a song represents real, meaningful progress.
That's such an important, encouraging reminder for our listeners today.
Definitely, progress happens gradually through consistent, enjoyable exposure, not through forcing perfect understanding immediately.
All right, I think it's time to summarize everything we've discussed today for our listeners.
Great idea. Let's go through the main points.
First, movies, shows, and music expose you to natural pronunciation, rhythm, and real, authentic context.
Second, choose content that matches your current level while still keeping you genuinely interested and motivated.
Third, use English subtitles instead of your first language to strengthen the direct connection between sounds and words.
Fourth, watch scenes multiple times, focusing on different details with each viewing.
Fifth, avoid pausing too frequently, balancing focused learning with natural, enjoyable watching.
Sixth, take notes on useful phrases and expressions, building your own personal collection over time.
Seventh, use music for its natural repetition, rhythm, and emotional connection, which strengthens memory.
Eighth, try singing along, since it improves pronunciation without the pressure of real conversation.
Ninth, avoid choosing content that's far too difficult, starting easier, and gradually increasing challenge over time.
10th, balance pure entertainment with focused, intentional learning sessions.
11th, try shadowing scenes, combining listening, speaking, and pronunciation practice together.
12th, track your progress by rewatching older content and noticing genuine, measurable improvement.
13th, combine different content types for a wider variety of vocabulary and accents.
And finally, stay consistent and don't expect perfect understanding immediately, since progress happens gradually over time.
That's such a comprehensive, practical summary. I really believe if listeners apply even a few of these strategies, they'll enjoy learning English so much more.
I completely agree. Learning through movies, shows, and music truly proves that